Visit memorial.health to find one near you.
News time is 7 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Friday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 8 o'clock newscast, streaming to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. A few interested parties have begun to make visits to the Clinton Lake Marina as the window for RFPs, or requests for proposal, is open. At the DeWitt County Board meeting Thursday night, a very brief meeting of the board was highlighted by a few short discussions. Board Chair Dan Matthews, who chairs the Marina Committee, informed the board they are having a few interested parties tour and visit the Clinton Lake Marina.
Next is Marina. We did meet. Didn't have any action items out of the January meeting. There's one later in new business that was a carryover from the previous month. But we had a site visit by those that were interested in the Marina RFP. We had 7 or 8 different people from across the area, different backgrounds, from Marina owners to business development, some local people, sailboaters. Had a couple of representatives there, so I think we had a real good turnout. Toured the entire facility, and so we received all the questions. Dee Dee put those together Tuesday, I think, for me, and we have a special meeting on the 22nd to go over those questions so that we can get them out timely to the bidders. Has that been posted, the meeting? It was posted, wasn't it? Okay, I thought so. I just thought I saw it.
The DeWitt County Land Use Committee continues to effort Enel Green Energy for information regarding the lights on the wind towers on its Alta Farms wind farm. Buck Carter chairs the Land Use Committee and indicates they hope to have Enel before the board still in the first quarter of this year. Megan Myers chairs the Public Safety Committee and gave an update on the animal shelter.
Mr. Chairman, Public Safety did meet. And the main point of discussion was the renewal of the J&M contract. They are the cleaning service for the shelter. And so I would like to make a motion to enter into a 6-month contract with J&M Critter Care. And other than that, we did have one of the part-time people just resign, and so Tony Harris will be looking to fill that position if you know anyone that's interested. Other than that, nothing else to bring to the board tonight. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
The animal shelter and the EMS building are receiving generators. Property Committee Chairperson Terry Ferguson notes the cost of the animal shelter generator is just over $11,000 and the EMS building generator is just short of $12,000. The board approved slip and mooring agreements for 2024. It was a roughly 15-minute meeting on Thursday. It's been an eventful week at Mount Pulaski schools. On the WHOW Morning Show Thursday, school superintendent Fred Lamke told Regional Radio before the week even started they had issues with its boiler system and getting heat to one of its buildings.
To be honest, the community of Mount Pulaski and our schools, everybody's great. We're functioning. We're moving forward, but it hasn't been easy for us. Got a phone call Sunday afternoon from one of my maintenance people saying, hey, boiler's down at the grade school. What ended up happening was, on obviously the coldest weekend in years, we had a fuse blow that runs the circulating pump for our boiler, which puts the heat throughout our building. So we didn't have any heat in the early morning hours of Sunday. And our northern exposed walls, we had pipes that froze up. So we got our boiler back running. We started thawing some things out to discover that we have some major issues. We got some pipes that had burst. We had some radiators that had coils burst, and basically out of my 10 junior high classrooms, I had one that had heat. So we went into the Martin Luther King holiday with some big problems, wondering how we were going to get through the week. We use, and I guess I'm giving a plug here, but Henson Robinson did a great job. They came out immediately Sunday night, and they worked with my maintenance directors and everybody until the wee hours of the morning to get the boiler running again. I found out at 3 in the morning that the boiler was up and running. Then they spent the whole next day trying to just thaw out pipes. I mean, you don't know how long it takes to thaw out pipes with heaters until you try and do it. It took the better part of the day, and then we discovered all of our burst pipes. That put school in question for coming back Tuesday. So that's how the week started off. And it didn't end there, but that's kind of what got everything kicked off for us.
Mount Pulaski was fortunate that they ended up calling off school on Tuesday due to the cold temperatures. The first time Lamke has called off school due to cold. He points out, though, the issues didn't end there.
Well, all the way up to Wednesday morning, we weren't sure how many classrooms we were going to have at the grade school. I'm telling you, by the great work of Louis Bully and Gene Schultz and Jim Bishop, our maintenance people here, we had every classroom functioning normally on Wednesday. So that's just an attestament to the time they put in. And I bet collectively, each one of them probably didn't have 8 hours sleep in 3 days. They were here till the wee hours of the morning getting things done. So just a big shout out to them. But we did. We functioned. We got everybody in the building, and everything was good. Last night, yesterday afternoon, got a phone call, went over to the high school, and we had a sprinkler system freeze up and burst. So I came into our brand new high school, into our new multi-purpose gym, to about 1.5 to 2 inches of water from the sprinkler pipe. Yeah, it's not. It's a little wavy in the corner that it was the deepest. We call them Zambonis, the machines that clean the floor, and we got them in there and sucked up as much water as we could. We got Peerless to come out and get to the floors. And honestly, in an hour and a half, we had all the water off the floor. We had things shut off. So we did, I think, just about as good as we possibly could there. So now we're dealing with how do we finish mitigating that gym floor to keep it from being damaged permanently. So we're working with the floor manufacturer and insurance company to see how we go about this. And so it's still going on, but the good news is we're not losing a second of class. We got everybody in the building. We're functioning normally. We got a ball game tonight that we're going to have, and school goes on as usual.
According to Lamke, e-learning has added a new wrinkle to the decision to call off school because now students doing some schoolwork at home on a snow day is an option. He notes, though, it's still nice to sometimes give them that traditional snow day. News time is 14 minutes after 8 o'clock here on this Friday. Get news anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. A look at local sports comes up next. Clinton High School girls in action last night in Central Illinois Conference play, picking up a win on the road. Meanwhile, Monticello girls basketball on the road. A tough matchup with St. Joe for the Lady Sages as they fell short in Illini Prairie Conference play on Thursday. Those stories, plus Illinois picks up a big win at Michigan on Thursday night in Big Ten play. The Bulls in action, they win at home, and the Packers again take on the San Francisco 49ers, another playoff matchup between the two longtime rivals in the playoffs. That comes up in sports.
Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. CEO Paul Scarron reminding you our walk-in clinic inside our family medicine building will treat your flu symptoms without an appointment. Find out more by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
For the latest in Central Illinois agricultural news, visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com. Get updated information on markets, weather, ag news, local interviews with NAFB farm broadcaster Jared White, and much, much more. All at IllinoisFarmRadio.com.
Hear Clinton Maroon live play-by-play this season on WHOW, the Big 1520 Daytime, 92.3 FM in DeWitt County, and 106.5 in Bloomington Normal all the time. Plus streamed at DeWittDailyNews.com on the WHOW mobile app and Amazon Alexa. Plus, hear a best of Clinton sports broadcast Saturday mornings at 10. All brought to you by the Clinton Sports Boosters, Liberty Village, the Clinton Community YMCA, and our exclusive sponsor of Timeouts, Connexus Fiber Internet.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. The Clinton Lady Maroons held off Warrensburg-Latham 49-37 in Central Illinois Conference girls basketball action Thursday night in Warrensburg. With the score tied at 13 after one quarter of play, the Lady Maroons used an 11-3 second quarter to take a 24-16 lead into the half. That lead would stand up the rest of the way as the Lady Cardinals got within 36-31 after three quarters. Heidi Humble led a balanced scoring attack with 13 points. Clara Dempsey and Avery Smith each scored 12 for Clinton. Warrensburg-Latham drops to 4-16 overall and 0-4 in the CIC. Clinton goes to 12-9 overall and 3-1 in the Central Illinois Conference. It's off to tournament play for the Lady Maroons. The Central Illinois Conference tournament will be a pool play round-robin tournament this year. Clinton opens action Monday evening, hosting Shelbyville at 7:30. The Maroons will then travel to Central A&M Tuesday night to finish out pool play. St. Joe Ogden jumped out early, and Monticello never recovered as the Lady Spartans topped the Lady Sages 46-33 in Illini Prairie Conference High School girls basketball action Thursday night in St. Joseph. Allie Widener led the way for Monticello with 16 points and 8 rebounds. She had 4 assists and a steal. Maya High scored 10 points with 7 rebounds for Monticello. The Lady Sages dropped to 8-14 overall and 1-3 in the Illini Prairie Conference. They will travel to Rantoul on Monday night. Coleman Hawkins scored 21 points to go with 10 rebounds as 14th-ranked Illinois beat Michigan 88-73 Thursday night. Quincy Guerrier had 16 points and 14 rebounds. Ty Rogers had 15 points. Marcus Damask also finished with 15 for the Fighting Illini, who go to 13-4 overall and moved to 4-2 in the Big Ten. They trailed just once when Terrace Reed Jr. opened the scoring with a layup. He finished with 20 for the Wolverines, who go to 7-11 overall and 2-4 in the Big Ten. Olivier Nakuwa added 16 points. Doug McDaniel had 14 for Michigan, which lost for the 6th time in its last 7 games. Hawkins, a 6'10 senior, doubled his average of 10.5 points per game. His performance is an indicator of his growing maturity, says Illini coach Brad Underwood. After Reed's opening basket, Illinois scored the next 11, but the Wolverines came back and got within 37-36 at the break. Michigan tied it at 38 in the second half, but the Illini went on a 17-2 run to put the game out of reach. Illinois led by 16 points for its 6th victory in its last 8 games. Illinois senior Terrence Shannon Jr. was suspended in December after being accused of rape in connection with an incident in Lawrence, Kansas last September, but appeared via video before a judge in Kansas on Thursday. He waived both a reading of the charges against him and an explanation of potential penalties. Shannon, Illinois' leading scorer before his suspension, is scheduled to appear at a preliminary hearing in Lawrence on February 23rd. The Illini extended their winning streak against the Wolverines to 7 in a row, including 4 in a row in Ann Arbor. They'll host Rutgers on Sunday. The San Francisco 49ers had plenty of success going up against the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs when Aaron Rodgers was running the show. The Niners knocked Rodgers and the Packers out of the playoffs 4 times, including twice in the previous 4 seasons. While first-year starter Jordan Love lacks the pedigree of the 4-time MVP, his performance in the last half of the season has caught the attention of the 12-5 Niners heading into their divisional round game against the 10-8 Packers Saturday night. After a shaky start to his first season as starter, Love has played at a high level the last 2 months. He's thrown 21 touchdown passes with 1 interception in the past 9 games and is coming off one of the best playoff debuts ever. He went 16 for 21 for 272 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks in a 48-32 win over the Cowboys in Dallas on Sunday. With Love playing as well as he has and a group of young pass catchers emerging as big threats, the Packers once again look like a top offensive team after taking a step back in Rodgers' last season in Green Bay in 2022. The 49ers see a similar look to those high-powered offenses they faced early in LaFleur's tenure, but see more of the coach's influence on the scheme now that he has a young quarterback he can mold. After losing in the NFC title game the past 2 seasons, the 49ers came into 2023 looking to get over that hump and back to the Super Bowl. But first, they had to get through the regular season, which they did with 12 wins and a first-round bye. Now the focus can really turn to getting rid of the bad taste from those season-ending losses. Green Bay's Aaron Jones has rushed for more than 110 yards in each of his past 4 games. He ran for 118 yards and 3 touchdowns in the Packers' victory over the Cowboys. It's worth noting that Jones has rushed for more than 100 yards every time he's faced the Cowboys in his career. He's never rushed for 100 yards in 6 previous meetings, though, with San Francisco, although he had 9 catches for 129 yards and 12 carries for 41 yards in the Packers' 2021 divisional playoff loss to San Francisco. Love has thrown 21 touchdown passes with only 1 interception in his last 9 games, and seems as if a different receiver emerges as his favorite target each week. The Packers have produced a different 100-yard receiver in each of their past 3 games. Romeo Dubes had 6 catches for 151 yards against the Cowboys. Jaden Reed did not catch a single pass against Dallas, but had 4 receptions for 112 yards when the Packers closed out the regular season with a 17-9 victory over the Bears. And a week earlier, Bo Melton had 6 passes caught for 105 yards in a 33-10 win over Minnesota. Both teams come into the game with rookie kickers in a bit of a rut. Third-round pick Jake Moody missed his first extra point of the season and a 38-yard field goal in San Francisco's Week 18 loss to the Rams. 6th-round pick Anders Carlson missed an extra point attempt in 3 of the Packers' past 4 games. He also missed a 41-yard field goal against Chicago and is just 7 of 13 this season on field goal attempts of at least 40 yards. Game time is 7:15 Saturday night. Nikola Vucevic had 24 points and 14 rebounds. DeMar DeRozan scored 24 points against his former team, and the Chicago Bulls beat the Toronto Raptors 116-110 on Thursday night. Kobe White had 23 to help the Bulls snap a 4-game losing streak in Toronto. Patrick Williams scored 12, and Alex Caruso and Ayo Dosunmu each had 10. Chicago outscored Toronto 74-50 on points in the paint. Bulls guard Zach LaVine had 8 points, connecting on 3 of 7 shooting attempts in 24 minutes. He left the court after rolling his right ankle early in the third, but returned for a 4-minute stint later in the period. The 2-time All-Star played just over 2 minutes in the fourth. Raptors forward Scotty Barnes had 31 points, 1 shy of his career best. R.J. Barrett had 17, but Toronto fell to 2-6 on the second night of a back-to-back. The Raptors shot a season worst, 4 of 32 from long range Monday in a loss to Boston, then made a season-high 20 Wednesday in a win over Miami, but they went cold again Thursday, missing 9 straight from distance to start the game and finished 10 for 38 on threes. Bruce Brown had 15 points in his Raptors debut, a day after being part of a trade that sent 2-time All-Star Pascal Siakam to Indiana. Toronto trailed 38-27 after the first quarter, but rallied to cut the gap to 5 points, 63-58 at the half. Barnes scored 9 points in the third as the Bulls took a 90-86 lead to the fourth. Toronto center Jakob Poeltl missed his 6th straight game because of a sprained left ankle. The Bulls will host Memphis on Saturday. The Chicago White Sox are in serious discussions with the owner of a plot of land on the city's South Loop about building a new ballpark a few miles north of their longtime home at Guaranteed Rate Field, the Chicago Sun-Times reports. The Times, citing sources familiar with the talks, reported Wednesday night the team and developer Related Midwest were discussing building a baseball-only stadium on an undeveloped 62-acre parcel close to downtown known as the 78. At the site at Roosevelt Road and Clark Street was one of several considered for a casino now planned for a different area of the city. There is nearby highway access as well as an Elf station serving several lines. The White Sox and Mayor Brandon Johnson issued a statement saying they are working together to keep the team in Chicago, though there were no mentions of a stadium. The White Sox have called Guaranteed Rate Field on the south side their home since the ballpark opened in 1991. Before that, they played across the street at the now demolished Comiskey Park from 1910 to 1990. The White Sox lease at Guaranteed Rate Field, which is owned by the Illinois Sports Facilities Authority, expires after the 2029 season. Jerry Reinsdorf acknowledged in late August the team would at least take a look at a new ballpark. The White Sox are not the only major Chicago team exploring a new home. The NFL's Chicago Bears are mulling a move out of Soldier Field. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen made 19 saves for his second consecutive shutout as the Buffalo Sabres beat the Chicago Blackhawks 3-0 Thursday night in a game moved back a day because of snow. Zemgus Girgensons, J.J. Peterka, and Rasmus Dahlin scored. Luukkonen had his third career NHL shutout, also beating San Jose 3-0 on Monday. His best save came with 5:45 remaining when he stopped Reese Johnson from close range on a 2-on-1 opportunity. Arvid Soderblom had 28 saves for the struggling Blackhawks, who have 2 victories in their last 11. They'll host the Islanders on tonight. The Washington Capitals beat the St. Louis Blues 5-2 Thursday night for a second consecutive victory, scoring more than 4 in a game for just the second time this season. TJ Oshie, who played his first 7 seasons with the Blues before being traded to Washington in 2015, has been on a roll since returning from injury January 11th after scoring twice on the power play and adding an empty netter with 19 and a half seconds left. He has 5 goals in his past 4 games after scoring just 2 in his first 21 this season. Dylan Strome scored his team-leading 16th of the season and had an assist. Max Pacioretty assisted on Oshie's first 2 goals to give him his first multi-point game since making his Caps debut January 3rd. Nicholas Aube-Kubo also scored, banking the puck in off St. Louis defenseman Justin Falk and past helpless goaltender Jordan Binnington. Former Caps forward Nathan Walker scored twice, and Binnington stopped 21 of the 25 shots he faced in the defeat. The Blues have lost 3 in a row and 4 of 5 since making a run under interim coach Drew Bannister. They're now 8-6-1 since firing 2019 Stanley Cup winner Craig Berube and promoting Bannister from the minors. They've scored 2 or fewer goals in 23 games this season. The teams meet again Saturday night in St. Louis, the start of a 4-game Western Conference trip for the Caps. Get sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Soybeans from other brands simply don't match up with Brevant